I know. This is remarkable.
Heavens!
The guest brought a beautiful ring which originally belonged to her mother's aunt. The guest had the ring since the 1950s but believed her aunt acquired it much earlier. It was identified as a Georgian heart ring or sweetheart ring. The appraiser mentioned that its origin was from England, dating between 1840 and 1855. The particular ring was unique because it featured two small carved cameos instead of birthstones. One cameo was carved from opal and the other from hard stone, both depicting monkey faces. Additionally, the ring was surrounded by emeralds and rubies and had a beautifully fluted background. The appraiser emphasized the ring's rarity and uniqueness. How much would the whimsical piece be worth?
Close to $20,000 for this. I know. This is remarkable.
Heavens!
I love you too.
Usually, when people hear the name Picasso, all they think about are paintings. Pablo Picasso, however, the legendary painter, wasn't only bound to the canvas, but also explored other styles of art.
I have to admit that it hung over the stove in the kitchen, and all of our kids love the smiley face.
One such style of art is these ceramic plates. Typical of Picasso's works, one of the plates has a depiction of Cubism, while the other one has paintings illustrated on it. These plates are powerful pieces and also very well decorated. While the plate that has paintings illustrated on it, being more valuable, would be worth
Range of $10,000 to $15,000. I love you too.
Oh! Well, that was a nice surprise, right?
Splendid.
Yes.
Not bad for just a blanket.
a vase of grace with colors that chase. It lights up the space with a timeless embrace. A woman recounted how her mother-in-law worked as a housekeeper for Mr. and Mrs. Hall. In the 1950s, Mr. Hall, the first superintendent at Howe Caverns, passed away. Mrs. Hall then allowed the housekeeper to choose items from the house. Among the items, she acquired a special vase. Mrs. Hall allowed the housekeeper to choose items after antique dealers had their pick. The housekeeper chose a vase. Years later, the woman feared the cat would break the vase. In response, she offered a blanket in exchange for the vase. The vase, a Quoizel made around 1920 in New York, featured shiny, colorful glass with green feather-like patterns, a sparkling surface, and a wavy edge. While examining the condition of the item, the appraiser said,
Worth about $1,500.
Oh!
But that was a nice surprise,
Splendid.
right?
Splendid.
Yes.
Not bad for just a blanket.
colorful Civil War battle scenes in prints are brought in for appraisal. This is one of the most famous series of Civil War prints done by a Chicago firm called Kurtz & Allison, as seen at the bottom of the print. They were done in the late 1880s and 1890s after the Civil War. Although there are many reproductions, these are original prints showing the essence of each aspect of the battle. Unlike other reproductions, these copies were done photomechanically by chromolithography, which entailed printing each color in an image from separate stones. Chromolithographic prints tend to last as long as no acidic material is brought near them, hence they should be framed. They all have good margins, but there are some nicks and chips on the copies which can be fixed. These prints show important battles such as Gettysburg, Antietam, and Corinth. In a retail shop, these prints would sell at $600 to $700 each, which brings the 6 panels to a total of
$3,600 and $4,200 for all 6 of them.
Very good.
We have 2 artifacts collected in Britain during the Second World War: the shelter top from a Morrison table indoor shelter, and a tail fin from one of the bombs dropped by the Nazis during the war. The guest acquired them from a sale.
Well, this, along with 243 other panels, formed from 1947 till 2005 the safety fence at Exeter Speedway.
No!
Yes, yes.
The Morrison indoor shelter was developed and designed by John Baker and named after the then Minister of Home Security, Herbert Morrison. An examination showed that 120 out of 136 people escaped from severely bomb-damaged houses without serious injury. These pieces of scrap metal hold great significance to the protection of British civilians during the Second World War, and their value is estimated at
We pay £100 for it. That's all that it's worth,
I
I'm
never
afraid.
thought it would be worth that, but I know there are a lot of people that like a part of it. We were going to cut them up once and sell them to raise money for the new track.
Are you kidding me?
I'm not.
Oh my goodness. Is it solid silver?
It is solid silver.
Wow.
This piece of silver was handed to the guest by his mother and has been placed on a shelf ever since. It was made in New Orleans, Louisiana, and bears the mark of Hyde and Goodrich, who were retailers in New Orleans. There is another mark on the piece, H, which stands for the name of the silversmith, Adolf Himmel. Moreover, this piece was probably made in the 1850s, pre-Civil War South, when silver trade was at its peak. This is a water pitcher with a great handle that looks like a branch, but fashioned, and also has a lot of greenery and flowers decorating it. For instance, this piece should be insured for
At around $10,000.
Whoa. Are you kidding me?
I'm not.
Oh my goodness. Is it solid silver?
It is solid silver.
A collection of jewelry was showcased on the show by our guest, who received the items as gifts from her mother-in-law. These exquisite pieces originate from China. One standout item is a mirror, masterly crafted from nephrite jade. The mirror comprises two components, a garment hook and a plaque from a scepter known as a ruyi. At auction, this relic from a bygone era is estimated to be worth
For $20,000.
Whoa, okay.
Next, we have a bracelet made of white jade, featuring a central plaque. This beautiful bracelet is expected to command a high value of
$2,000 or $3,000.
Well, thank you so much.
A look at this doll takes us through a journey of childhood, where we were still just innocent. This French-made doll from the Jumeau doll factory was passed down through this guest's family. An early Jumeau work, referred to as Émile Jumeau, it is quite remarkable for being completely original from head to toe. The hat, dress, and shoes are all factory original.
The shoes are even marked by the Jumeau doll factory.
This doll, dating from 1881 to 1886, has been preserved as an attic doll, hardly played with over the years.
And you can see in here the bright, bright pink color when it was new.
When new, these types of Jumeau dolls dressed in designer clothes were highly expensive. Though it needs restringing to be posed, the clothing remains uncleaned, which preserves its authenticity. This pristine Jumeau doll, still in exceptional condition, is valued at a retail price of
$7,000 and $8,000.
Oh my, thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, really?
a wax doll that originally belonged to this guest's great-grandmother. Its manufacture date can be traced back to around 1853. The doll has its original box and clothing. This is an English poured wax doll, meaning it is made of solid wax. Some dolls have a composition base with wax over it, but this doll is entirely solid wax. Made in England, the doll's exact maker is unknown, as checking for marks risks damaging it.
I don't know for sure who she is. Sometimes there's a mark on the leg.
The doll's condition is excellent, and its outfit is all original. Given its excellent preservation and originality, the doll is appraised at
$1,500.
The guest brought in a copper kettle they and their spouse bought together nearly 30 years ago. They currently use it as a firewood holder, but it was identified as an apple butter kettle. These kettles were traditionally used for boiling down applesauce into apple butter, a staple food for Pennsylvania Germans. These kettles were made from sheets of copper, often imported from England. The kettle itself was constructed with dovetail joints similar to how furniture was built. The kettle had 3 legs, designed to rest near a fireplace, and a large handle for lifting it with a crane. A particularly interesting detail was the maker's mark, J.P. Schaum, from Lancaster, Pennsylvania, which was rarely seen on such kettles. While the guest had no idea of the value, due to its good condition and maker's mark, it is estimated to be worth
$2,000 today. And very important because it is a marked piece. Appreciate you bringing it in today.
The guest brought in a Tiffany Studios lamp that had been passed down from her great-grandfather, a surgeon in Kansas City. The lamp dates to around 1910 based on its Moorish pattern. This style of lamp was popular during the Art Nouveau era and the Moorish pattern referenced the decorative elements found in Islamic art and architecture. What truly sets this lamp apart from others was its remarkable condition. Tiffany lamps are known for their beautiful stained glass lampshades, often adorned with prisms that dangle from the lower edge. Unfortunately, these prisms are frequently missing or damaged on Tiffany lamps because they are typically attached with a fragile S-hook. In contrast, the Guest lamp had all its prisms intact, thanks to a more secure reinforcement method. Taking into consideration the lamp's age, design, and excellent condition, the estimated retail value is
$4,500, right around there.
The Guest brought in a painting by Leo Kenny, a Seattle artist. The painting, titled Leo Kenny and dated 1946, was one of the artist's earliest works, created when he was just 21 years old. Kenny was a prodigy who received a solo exhibition at the Seattle Art Museum just a few years later, making him the youngest artist to ever achieve that distinction. The painting itself was a surrealist work, influenced by the works of Salvador Dali and Giorgio de Chirico. The muted tones of blues, grays, and blacks echoed the Seattle climate and the artistic movement Kenny was inspired by. The imagery in the painting was dreamlike and unsettling, with a lone boat floating beneath a weeping moon. The lack of familiar details and the use of distorted perspective created a sense of mystery and unease, characteristic of surrealist art. The Guest learned that her sister had purchased the painting at an estate sale for $2,700 and then sold it to her for $1,500 in 2003. Due to Kenny's status as a renowned Northwest artist, the estimated value of the painting is
$5,000 and $8,000. And if you were to see this in a retail gallery setting here in the Seattle area, I think it would be up to as much as $10,000. Wonderful.
Let's explore the enduring appeal of World's Fair memorabilia through two noteworthy posters. The first, an unofficial poster for the 1962 Seattle World's Fair, offered a unique perspective. Designed by Earl Duff, an artist who worked for the Space Needles builders. The poster placed the viewer 100 feet above the ground, gazing out at the Seattle skyline dominated by the fair's iconic tower. This captivating view, along with its unofficial status, made the poster more rare than the official ones, with an estimated value of
$600 and $900.
The second poster transported viewers to the 1939 New York World's Fair. This rare design predated the fair's opening by 2 years, showcasing the Trilon and Perisphere structures even before they were built. The poster's early design date significantly contributed to its rarity. While a larger version of this poster typically fetched more at auction, the smaller version here had never been auctioned before. The conservative auction value for this poster is
$2,500 and $3,500.
Nico, these posters are beautiful representations of two great events. Thanks for sharing them with us.
It's a pleasure.
The Guest brought in a string instrument they believed to be a violin, only to discover it was a viola. At 16.25 inches, the instrument was slightly larger than a traditional violin and quickly identified as a viola crafted by Boston luthier Trefel Gervais. The Guest was surprised to learn that Gervais, while known for violins, was a relatively obscure maker, and viola by him are incredibly rare. This particular viola is beautifully constructed with a maple back, sides, and neck, a spruce top, and an ebony fingerboard. The rich red varnish, with some rare from use, complemented the vibrant yellow ground coat. Despite these minor imperfections, the viola's overall condition is excellent. The rarity of both the maker and the instrument itself significantly impacted the viola's value. The estimated worth is to be
as much as $15,000, because I think that a local Boston shop would be able to capitalize on the local making.
I'm going to be hearing from my cousins, I'm sure.
The Guest brought in a strange-looking object they inherited from their aunt. It is identified as a Chinese wine vessel made of bronze around 1100 BC. The vessel had 3 tall legs to elevate it from the ground, allowing heated wine to be poured from the spout without burning the user. The craftsmanship and intricate details indicated that this was a valuable object owned by a person of wealth and influence. The decorative elements on the vessel depicted a stylized water buffalo with horns. An inscription underneath the buffalo served as a mark of authenticity by the people who created it. The green patina on the bronze confirmed that the vessel had been buried as part of a tomb, likely placed there with other precious items to accompany the deceased to the afterlife. Given the rarity and historical significance of the piece, the estimated value is
$10,000 to $15,000 range.
I'm going to be hearing from my cousins, I'm sure.
The guest brought in a beautiful bronze sculpture they purchased 30 years ago for $1,000. It is identified as the triumphant entry of Napoleon into Cairo, created in 1900 by Jean-Léon Gérôme, a French artist known more for his paintings than sculptures. Gérôme's background in goldsmithing was evident in the intricate details of the bronze, such as the sharp definition of the soldier's gun scabbards and the horse's elaborate harness. The signature placement and the foundry mark on the back confirmed its authenticity. Interestingly, Gérôme sometimes incorporated other materials like ivory and paint into his sculptures. It was possible that the horse blanket, now a simple bronze color, might have originally been painted with vibrant colors. The guest was thrilled to learn that their treasured possession was not only a beautiful work of art, but also a valuable investment. The estimated worth is to be
$15,000 and $20,000 now.
That's a lot of money even now,
That's
you know?
The guest brought in a folk art oil painting inherited from their great-grandfather. The painting, likely created around 1880, depicted a scene reminiscent of a grand Canadian resort hotel built in the late 19th century. The figures, clothing styles, and the leisure activities depicted, like picnicking, supported this interpretation. The painting lacks a perfect perspective, a characteristic of folk art created by untrained artists. Despite this, the painting was in good condition with minor cracks on the surface called craquelure. The original story of the painting, purchased in a bar around 1900 by a teetotaler, remained a mystery for the family. Given the painting's style, subject matter, and age, the estimated value is
In the $8,000 to $12,000 range.
Oh, wow, fun.
Yeah.
Oh, my word.
This piece was inherited by this guest from her mother-in-law, whose family is from the Boston area. This piece was made in Boston in the 18th century. Made by famous Boston silversmith Jacob Hurd, who worked in the 1740s and 50s. This is a typical Boston can.
There was a whole dynasty of silversmiths of that name in Boston.
Funny enough, the Old English word can was continued in usage in America to describe a silver mug like this. This can is a nice piece of colonial American silver that's basically in untouched condition. It has never been knocked around or overpolished. We've got Hurd's maker's mark on the left-hand side of the handle.
There was no system of assaying and hallmarking. For the most part, though, they were pretty honest, and most of these colonial pieces are of the right silver standard.
A piece like this, that hasn't changed hands many times and is fresh to the market, could be worth
Of $15,000
Oh, my
for it.
God. Oh, my word.
This item is a dream come true for many baseball fans and collectors. It's an away jersey and pant belonging to baseball legend Willie Mays. This uniform was used by Willie in the 1961 season, and despite being over 30 years old, the uniform has still maintained top quality.
Grading generally is on a 1 to 10 scale. In this condition, I think that this would probably grade a 9 or a 10.
Willie's name is engraved into the pants and jersey for easy identification. The uniform is made from wool, and it is in quite remarkable condition.
And I noticed that it has a Spalding tag and that it's a size 42.
The uniform is also gray, which is typical for materials created during the 60s when Willie wore this. At a sports auction, this high-quality uniform would retail at the price of
$25,000 to $35,000.
It's amazing.
This looks like quite a special item. After all, it's a rare type of lamp called a Burmese lamp. The lamp is special because it's made from a unique glass called Burmese glass.
Of Mount Washington glass invented Burmese glass in the United States.
The lamp was crafted in 1890 and is a type of junior kerosene lamp. As with rare Burmese lamp, it has a fascinating umbrella shape, which likely makes it easier to use. It features a beautiful pattern on its surface. The color is also quite distinct, adding to its allure. At auction, this beautiful lamp would retail for
$5,000 for this lamp.
Oh my gosh.
There is no way one wouldn't exclaim after seeing this beautiful lamp. This is a Tiffany Studios lamp that was created in 1906. Tiffany Studios were known for creating some of the most luxurious items in the world, and this lamp is no different, as you can immediately notice its exquisiteness. The lamp has many fine details, and its color is quite fascinating and appealing.
A nice bronze, harp-shaped standard. This is a damascene shade in the green Favril pattern.
Lamps like this, at the time of their creation, were the cream of the crop among the rich. Because it's a Tiffany Studios lamp, it would auction at the estimated price of
$6,000 to $7,000. That would be a retail price.
In the estate they bought in Tulsa, Oklahoma, they found a doll in a chest of drawers. This was made by the Mojave Indians, a dwindling desert tribe. They sold these clay dolls as railroads passed through. Meticulously crafted, this figurine likely served as a keepsake for visitors. Made from clay, stone, or wood, painted naturally, these show Mojave's skill and nature connection. The figurine featured a baby on its back, with a repaired crack and intricate detailing. They blend art and Mojave culture, offering insights into their history and worldview. Captivated by its timeless allure and cultural resonance, the appraiser valued the item
$2,500 to $3,500.
Wow, that's great.
This is a treasured heirloom gifted to the guest's ancestor, who was an admiral.
Ancestor of mine who was an admiral.
Stolen from Napoleon.
On his way to Elba.
Wow. Does it tie up date-wise? So this is 1814.
Yes.
The box was stolen from the great French Emperor Napoleon Bonaparte. He was the leader of the French Republic as first consul from 1799 to 1804, and then Emperor of the French from 1804 to 1814. The box is a campaign box used to keep medals and jewelry, dating back to the early 19th century. It bears the Triumph of Love sign and is made from thoya wood from the Atlas Mountains, with a silver plating that indicates high quality, though not as high as one might expect from the emperor. Presented with a letter indicating the provenance of the family, until it is proven to have belonged to Napoleon, this box is only worth
$2,000 to $3,000.
Which would be nice.
The guest brought a pocket watch made from wood and metal from Van Cleef & Appeals for appraisal. Van Cleef & Appeals was a French company known for making quality watches, especially for Hollywood or movie stars. This watch was made during the Art Deco period in the early 1930s, when Van Cleef was at its peak. It is a manual wind Swiss movement made for a man, which is rare, because they are usually made for ladies as mini purse watches that open and close. However, this watch is made of wood for a man and has an estimated retail price of
$4,000.
Oh, okay, awesome. Awesome, that's very nice.
Today's piece is a banner from the 1939 premiere of the movie Union Pacific in Omaha. The guest's father, who worked for Union Pacific Railroad, retrieved the banner from a lamp post after the premiere. The banner prominently features the Union Pacific Railroad logo used in the film's marketing. The film Union Pacific was directed by Cecil B. DeMille. DeMille was an American filmmaker acknowledged as a founding father of American cinema and the most commercially successful producer-director in film history. This film was significant for documenting the 1862 Union Pacific Railroad expansion.
They were trying to do the first transcontinental railroad in the United States, and so this film documents that time period.
Released in 1939, it was overshadowed by some other iconic films, including The Wizard of Oz. In 2002, Union Pacific was retroactively awarded the Palme d'Or at the Cannes Film Festival.
So Union Pacific is technically the first winner of the Palme d'Or at the Cannes Film Festival, even though it was awarded in 2002.
This unique piece has never appeared at auction before, making it exceptionally rare. This remarkable piece brings together the legacy of Union Pacific Railroad, and its estimated value is
in the $3,000 to $5,000 range.
Wow.
And I wouldn't be surprised if it did a lot more than that.
The The guest presented some glass pieces which were acquired by her relatives at an auction in South Carolina. These items are Austrian glass called Moser and are referred to as Moser style. Moser, a luxury glass manufacturer, is known for producing quality handcrafted glass.
Moser was the glass of kings and the king of glass.
These pieces date back to the late 18th century, featuring a finger bowl and an underplate and also a Rhine wine, red wine, and champagne glass. The gold on these items is very thick, very high luster gold.
It's 24 karat gold leafy.
These 24 karat gold items, made in the Moser style, at auction go for
$1,200 to $1,500 just in these few pieces.
This is a fine example of Rosenberg pottery, an item made in the 19th century. It was a wedding gift to the guest's grandparents during that era. The colors on this item are phenomenal, with its eggshell porcelain, which is world-renowned for Rosenberg works. It isn't just an ordinary pottery work, but was made in the Art Nouveau style, and despite its age, it's seen to be in perfect condition, with no scratch or damage to it. At auction, this eggshell porcelain item with pretty colors would be worth
$750 to $1,000.
Wow, okay.
This charming folk art doll, dating from around 1885, originally belonged to the guest's grandmother, making it approximately 120 years old. Primitive folk art dolls of this era are quite rare, and this one is particularly special due to its excellent preservation. The doll retains all its original clothes and its original body, showcasing the authenticity and craftsmanship of the period. Its endearing appearance adds to its appeal, and on the retail market, this delightful piece would fetch
$1,200 and $1,500.
Wow, really?
Yes.
Really?
And
That's fabulous.
The guest shared items from her grandfather's shoe store in Postville, Iowa, which operated until 1952. These items included advertising pieces and toys given to children with their shoes. The first item was a Dr. Scholl's piece, a stunning example of a proprietor's stock dispenser from the 1920s. Next, the appraiser examined a bagatelle, an early precursor to the pinball machine from the 1930s. This particular piece was notable because advertising bagatelles were rare. The rest of the materials were related to Paul Power shoes. It included a small window display sign, a chalkware parrot, whistles, clickers, little banks, and rolling toys. Each item's value was assessed by the appraiser.
$3,800 to close to $5,000 for just this.
Okay. Wow.
The endowment on this clock will attract any buyer to make a purchase. This piece is a Meissen porcelain clock acquired by the guest's mother through a black market trade. The clock, made circa 1885, features a wonderful French movement, but its true beauty lies in the exceptional quality of its Meissen case.
It's an exceptional case. The figures are so well struck and painted. It's one of the best I've ever seen.
The dial is free of hairline fractures, and the delicate flowers and figures, often prone to damage, remain in fantastic condition. This level of preservation is rare, which adds significantly to its value that's worth
$10,000 to $15,000. 10 to 15. 10 to 15,000. It's come a long way since 1982.
Best known for his female portraits, Olinsky's style tended towards impressions. He was a Russian Empire-born American painter and art instructor.
Ivan Olinsky was born in Russia and immigrated to the United States. In fact, did study at the Art Students League in New York.
On the contrary, this particular painting is not a female portrait, but a depiction of the beautiful scene of the Plaza San Marco. This painting features multiple inscriptions indicating that it was a gift from Olinsky to his patron, as a token of gratitude for her friendship and support. Given that this painting is oil on canvas board and remains in its original frame, at auction would fetch
For auction, I would probably estimate it at between $4,000 and $6,000.
That's nice.
The guest brought in a doll that he inherited from his grandparents. This doll was made by the Simon & Halbig firm, known for its beautiful bisques. It has the original sheen to its composition body, original clothes, leather boots, wool outfit, and original mohair wig. The firm started making French fashion dolls, then dolly-faced dolls, before moving to character dolls like this one. Furthermore, this doll is not marked because not all Simon & Halbig's dolls are marked. This character-faced doll is special for its little mustache, nicely molded eyebrows, beautiful eyes, and eye lines. With its beautiful modeling and quality bisques, this character doll is worth
$3,000 to $4,000.
Wow.
If he was marked, you could go to the higher end.
The guest brought in a treasure trove of baseball memorabilia, each piece whispering stories of their father, Lonnie Frey's remarkable 14-year career in Major League Baseball. Frey's journey began with the Brooklyn Dodgers, a bat from his early years there serving as a reminder of his fledgling steps in the big leagues. An all-star bat from 1941 highlighted his achievements, while a bat commemorating Joe Jackson spoke of his admiration for the baseball icon. Most of Frey's success came during his time with the Cincinnati Reds. The guest shared how witnessing Johnny Vandermeer's back-to-back no-hitters in 1938 was one of his father's most cherished baseball memories. The collection also included memorabilia from his 2 World Series appearances with the Reds. The crown jewel of the collection, however, was a World Series championship ring from Frey's time with the New York Yankees in 1947. It was estimated to be worth
$15,000 to $20,000.
The total value of the collection was estimated to be around
$25,000 to $30,000.
It's wonderful. And
However, in a recent auction, the collection was valued for $35,000 to $75,000. Today's guest brought a fascinating collection of baseballs tied to the historic 1956 World Series between the New York Yankees and the Brooklyn Dodgers.
So you have letters of authenticity
Yes.
of all of these.
Yes,
Provenance
that's right.
means everything.
The collection includes 4 baseballs given by Hank Soar, an American League umpire. Hank Soar was the first base umpire during Don Larson's perfect game for the Yankees in the 1956 World Series. Don Larson, the baseball includes signatures from the Yankees, Dodgers, and the game's umpires. The Yankees ball has signatures from 19 players, one of whom was Yogi Berra. Yogi Berra was an 18-time All-Star and won 10 World Series championships as a player, more than any other player in MLB history. The Dodgers ball also features signatures from legends, one of whom was Jackie Robinson. Jackie Robinson was an American professional baseball player who became the first African American to play in the MLB in the modern era. The umpire ball, signed by Hank Soar, adds a unique touch to this collection. The highlight among the balls, however, is the one pitched by Don Larson, whose value is said to be worth
$15,000 to $18,000.
This French strongbox was a wedding gift to the guest's grandparents. This is a Boulay inlay or brass inlay and is named after the designer Andrew Charles Boulay, who did inlays in the 17th century. Inside the box there's the name Louis Aucoq, who started a firm in 1823, and engraved is a writing, "By appointment to the king." Then an address is added and a date, 1827, which was in the reign of Charles X. There should be a lining in the interior, but it was not found, and there are clips made of mahogany, while the rosewood clips were for coins. This is a traveling strongbox. On closing it, there is a brass inlay around the sides, a coat of arms, and a crest. There was no explanation for the crest, which could have increased the value. Although it lacks some elements, such as the interior tray liners, this item would sell at auction for $5,000 to $7,000. But if it was in perfect condition, an auction estimate would be around
$15,000 to $25,000.